Tonight, a sign will be sent, but not everyone will see it. Only those who are ready, those who listen with their hearts and see with their souls, will recognize the promise of God unfolding right before their eyes. Something is shifting in the spiritual realm, something powerful, something undeniable. And if you're here right now, it's because you're meant to hear this. This message is reaching you for a reason. Pay attention. What you're about to discover could change your life forever. And by the end of this message, I will reveal something essential, something that might just be the key to deciphering this sign. So stay with me until the very end, because what's coming next is too important to miss. Have you ever felt like God was trying to show you something, but you just couldn't quite understand? Like there was a message, a revelation, just beyond your grasp? Have you ever had that strange feeling, as if something huge was about to happen, but you didn't know exactly what it was? If you've ever felt that pull, that whisper in your spirit telling you that something is coming, then know this: you're not imagining things. That feeling is real. And tonight, I need you to listen carefully, because what I'm about to share may be the confirmation you've been waiting for. Right now, in this very moment, something is shifting in your life. Doors are opening, battles are being fought on your behalf in the unseen realm. The enemy has tried to keep you distracted, to keep you blind to the signs, but not tonight. Tonight, the veil is lifting and the truth is about to be revealed. This isn't just another message. This is a divine appointment. If you're still listening, it means you were meant to hear this. It means there is something in your spirit that recognizes the urgency of this moment. It means your heart is already responding to something greater, something beyond yourself. And that's because you're being called. Yes, you. Right now, God is calling you to see what others overlook, to hear what others dismiss, to step into what others fear. I want you to understand something. God doesn't send signs for no reason. When He moves with purpose. And when He speaks, it's because He wants His people to listen. But too often, we're caught up in the noise of the world. We're so distracted, so busy, so consumed by the temporary that we miss the eternal. But not tonight. Tonight, your spirit is awake. Tonight, your heart is open. And tonight, you are being positioned to receive something powerful. This isn't about coincidence. It's not luck. You're here because there's a divine plan at work in your life. A plan that's bigger than anything you can see right now. And let me tell you something. When God is about to do something great, He always gives a sign. He always prepares those who are willing to see. But not everyone will recognize it. Not everyone will be ready. So I need you to ask yourself, am I ready? Am I open? Am I willing to receive what God is showing me? Because if you are, if your heart is crying out for more, then I need you to do something right now. I need you to declare it. Write in the comments, I am ready to receive. Let this be your moment of faith, your declaration that you will not miss what God is revealing tonight. And don't stop there, share this message. Because there's someone out there who needs to hear this just as much as you do. Someone who's been searching, waiting, hoping for a sign. And you might be the one who helps them see it. There's no time to hesitate. There's no time to second guess. If this message is speaking to your spirit, respond, engage, step into what's being released over your life right now. Because this is only the beginning. Stay with me, because what comes next will reveal the secret you need to understand this. Sign, you are not here by accident. You are here because it is your time. It is your moment. And something is about to change. God speaks to us all the time. Every single day, in ways big and small, He is trying to reach us. But the question is, are we paying attention? Most people go through life waiting for some grand, undeniable miracle to prove that God is real, that He's listening, that He's moving. But the truth is, His voice is often found in the quiet, in the subtle moments that many overlook. Signs from God are not always loud. They're not always obvious. They're not always what we expect, but they are always there. Maybe you've experienced this before. A dream that keeps coming back night after night, stirring something deep inside you. A word that keeps showing up on a billboard, in a conversation, in a book you randomly open. A song that plays just when you need it, as if God Himself placed it in your path. A person you meet at exactly the right time. Someone who says something that answers a question you never spoke out loud. These are not coincidences. These are not random events. These are signs. But not everyone knows how to recognize them. Think about this. How many times have you felt something in your gut? A knowing, a deep conviction about something, but you brushed it off? How many times have you felt a nudge to take a certain path? Make a decision, reach out to someone, but you ignored it because it didn't make logical sense? That, my friend, is how God often speaks. It's not always through thunder and lightning. Sometimes it's through a gentle whisper, a quiet prompting, a soft but persistent message that refuses to leave your heart. One of the most powerful stories in the Bible about recognizing God's signs is the story of Elijah on Mount Horeb. Elijah was a prophet, a man who had seen the power of God firsthand. He had witnessed fire from heaven, miracles, victories over enemies. And yet, at one point, he found himself afraid, discouraged, and running for his life. He ended up hiding in a cave, desperate for an answer from God, desperate for a sign. And God told him to stand on the mountain because he was about to pass by. First came a powerful wind, so strong that it tore through the mountains. But God was not in the wind. Then came an earthquake, shaking the very ground beneath him, but God was not in the earthquake. Then came a fire, roaring and consuming everything in its path. But God was not in the fire. And then, after all of that, came a gentle whisper. And it was in that whisper that Elijah finally heard the voice of God. Let that sink in. God wasn't in the mighty wind. He wasn't in the earthquake. He wasn't in the fire. He was in the whisper. How often do we miss God because we're only looking for Him in the spectacular? How often do we ignore His signs because they don't come the way we expected? The truth is, God's signs are all around us, but we have to be willing to slow down, to quiet our minds, to truly listen. But here's the challenge: most of us don't slow down. We live in a world of distractions, noise, constant movement. Our minds are always racing, filled with worries, fears, doubts. And the busier we get, the harder it becomes to recognize when God is speaking. The enemy knows this. That's why one of his greatest tactics is to keep you distracted. Because a distracted heart is a blind heart. A restless mind is a deaf mind. How many times have you ignored a sign because you were too busy, too caught up in your routine, too focused on your problems? How many times has God tried to guide you, but doubt crept in, convincing you that it was just your imagination? This is the trap of skepticism, and it is one of the greatest thieves of blessings. Fear, doubt, and impatience. These are the things that keep us from receiving what God is trying to give us. Fear tells you, what if you're wrong? Doubt whispers, that's just a coincidence. Impatience screams, I need an answer now. And so, instead of waiting, instead of watching, instead of trusting, we dismiss the signs. We walk away from divine opportunities. But what if we started paying attention? What if we started treating every moment as a potential message? What if we stopped brushing off the small things and started seeing them as part of something bigger? You. See, the reason God sends signs is because He wants to guide you. He wants to confirm things for you. He wants to give you direction, encouragement, and clarity. But He will not force you to see them. He will not force you to believe. That choice is yours. Right now, I want you to take a deep breath and think. Think about the past few days, the past few weeks. Have there been moments that stood out? Something that felt different? Something that kept repeating? A word, a dream, A scripture? A feeling in your spirit? What if that wasn't random? What if that was a sign? What if God has been trying to get your attention, and this moment right now is your confirmation? I want you to really open your heart to this, because I believe that God is speaking to you right now, in this very moment. I believe that if you've been searching for a sign, this might just be it. The fact that you're still listening, the fact that your spirit is responding, tells me that something is stirring inside you. And that is not by accident. So don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. Start looking, start listening, start expecting. Because when you truly open your eyes, when you truly open your heart, you will see that God has been speaking all along. And the signs? They've been right in front of you the entire time. Many people miss the signs God places right in front of them. Not because He isn't speaking, not because He isn't moving, but because they are expecting something grand, something undeniable, something so obvious that it leaves no room for doubt. They look for the burning bush, for the parted sea, for the voice thundering from the heavens. And in doing so, they ignore the small, quiet, yet powerful ways God speaks every single day. They say, God wouldn't speak to me. They think that's for other people, for the chosen, for the anointed. And because they don't believe that God would take the time to send them a sign, they don't even bother looking. But here's the truth. God speaks to everyone. He is constantly communicating with His children, but only those who are spiritually awake will recognize it. A person can be standing in the middle of a divine moment and still not see it if their heart is closed. They can be surrounded by opportunities, by open doors, by answered prayers, and still be blind to what God is doing. Why? Because they are not prepared to receive. Their faith is weak, their minds are distracted, their spirits are clouded with doubt. They walk through life asking for signs, but rejecting them when they come, because they don't match their expectations. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who had been praying for a breakthrough. He had been struggling, facing battles. He didn't know how to fight, and he cried out to God for an answer. "Show me a sign," he prayed. "Let me know you hear me." Days passed, weeks, and he saw nothing. He felt abandoned, unheard, forgotten. One evening, he was driving home when he felt a strong urge to take a different route. It made no sense. To him, his usual way was faster, more familiar. But something in his spirit nudged him. He ignored it. He told himself it was nothing, just a random thought. That same night, a terrible accident occurred on the road he would have taken. If he had gone his usual way, he would have been in the middle of it. It was only later that he realized God had warned him. But because he was expecting a loud, undeniable miracle, he ignored the whisper, the gentle nudge, the subtle sign that could have saved him. How many times have we done the same? How many times have we brushed off something that felt like intuition, something that felt like a quiet message, only to realize later that it was God trying to lead us? Faith is the key to seeing beyond the natural. It allows you to recognize the invisible, to trust even when things don't make sense. Without faith, signs will appear and vanish before your eyes, because faith is what gives them meaning. Faith is what turns a coincidence into confirmation. And this is where the real challenge comes in. Because faith requires surrender. It requires you to trust, even when you don't understand. It requires you to follow, even when the path is unclear. It requires you to believe, even when your mind is filled with doubt. So now, I want to ask you something. Have you missed a sign? Have you ignored something that could have been a message from God? Have you dismissed a dream, a feeling, a repeated word, because it seemed too small, too insignificant to be divine? What if right now, this very moment, is a sign? What if this message is reaching you because God is trying to get your attention? What if He has been showing you things, sending you signals, speaking to you in ways you didn't expect, and this is the wake-up call you needed? Don't let another sign pass you by. Don't let doubt steal what God is trying to give you. Open your heart, open your eyes, because tonight something is shifting. And if you are ready, if you are willing to see, you will recognize what others miss, you will receive what others reject, and you will step into what God has been preparing for you all along. Tonight could be the night that changes everything. For you, the night when God speaks, when He reveals something, when He opens your eyes in a way you never expected. But the question is, will you be ready? Will your heart be open? Will your spirit be still enough to hear Him? Because signs are not just about seeing. They're about being in the right posture to receive. You see, the reason so many people miss God's signs isn't because He isn't speaking. It's because their minds are too loud, their hearts too restless, their focus too scattered. They're looking everywhere but not truly seeing. They're listening but not truly hearing. And so, even when God places something right in front of them, they walk right past it, blind to what He's trying to reveal. So tonight, I want you to do something different. I want you to prepare yourself, to position yourself spiritually, so that when the moment comes, you don't miss it. Here's how. First, quiet your mind. Before you go to sleep, take a moment to just be still. Step away from the distractions, the noise, the endless scrolling, the worries that keep you up at night. Instead of filling your mind with things that drain you, fill it with peace. Close your eyes, breathe, let go of everything that doesn't serve you. Because when your mind is calm, you create space for clarity. And clarity is what allows you to recognize what God is showing you. Next, ask God for guidance. Speak to Him. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just say, Lord, open my eyes to see what I need to see. Open my ears to hear what you are saying. Don't let me miss it. Because when you ask, when you genuinely seek, He responds. The problem is, most people don't ask. They expect God to just drop the answer in front of them. But faith requires participation. It requires expectation. It requires you to position yourself to receive. And when that sign comes, because it will, I want you to write it down. If you wake up in the middle of the night with a dream that stirs something in you, write it. If a certain word keeps echoing in your mind, note it. If something unusual happens tomorrow that catches your attention, don't dismiss it. God speaks in ways that we often don't recognize in the moment. But when we go back, when we reflect, when we pay attention, the pieces start coming together. And finally, remove distractions. You can't expect to hear from God if you're filling every second with noise. If your mind is constantly consumed with entertainment, with worry, with things that pull you away from His presence, how will you recognize when He speaks? Give yourself space. Step away from the unnecessary. Be intentional about creating moments of stillness, because the more you clear out the clutter, the more clearly you will hear His voice. So now, I need to ask you, are you ready? Are you willing to do this? Because this isn't just another message. This isn't just words. This is an opportunity, a moment where you get to decide if you will take that extra step, if you will prepare your heart, if you will make space for God to reveal something powerful in your life. If you are ready, if you are committed to recognizing the sign when it comes, I want you to declare it. Write in the comments, I am ready to see. Let this be your first act of faith, your first step toward what is coming. And don't keep this to yourself. Share this message with someone who needs it. Because there is someone out there who is searching for clarity, for direction, for a sign just like you. And tonight, that sign may be revealed. Don't let it pass you by. Be still, be open, and when it comes, believe it. Because God is speaking. The only question is, will you listen? The signs are everywhere. God is speaking to you right now, in this very moment. The question is, are you listening? Are you paying attention? Because this night, this moment, could be the beginning of something new, a shift, a breakthrough, a door opening that you never expected. You felt it, haven't you? That deep sense that something is coming, that God is stirring something in your spirit. Maybe you don't fully understand it yet. Maybe you don't see the whole picture. But something inside you knows this isn't just another night. This is the start of something greater. So if you see the sign, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. Don't let doubt, fear, or hesitation steal what God is trying to give you. Because this could be the very answer you've been praying for. The confirmation you've been seeking. The moment where everything starts to come together in ways you never imagined. And now, as I promised, I need to tell you something important. Many will receive the sign. Many will feel it, sense it, recognize it. But only a few will have the courage to act on it. Only a few will take that leap of faith. Only a few will say, "Yes, God, I see it, and I will follow where you lead." If this message has touched your heart, if something inside you is stirring right now, it means God is preparing you for something bigger, something greater. And now I have to ask, are you ready? Truly ready? Not just to see the sign, but to step into it. Because this isn't just about recognizing what God is showing you. It's about responding to it, walking in it, believing that He is guiding you towards something powerful. So if this spoke to you, if you feel like this message was meant for you, I need you to do something right now. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss another sign. Because this is just the beginning. And don't keep this to yourself. Share this message with someone who needs it today. Someone who has been searching, questioning, waiting. Because tonight, they might receive their sign too. God is moving. The signs are here, and this is your moment. Don't miss it.